You are now entering Nyghtstorm Nation.
All I have to say is this.
Child abuse.
If you are one of those people
Divorce.
that have been put down all of your life,
Infidelity.
beat up and trapped in a pit of woe,
Depression.
it is time for you to stand up with the Nyghtstorm Nation, because we aren't going anywhere.
I'm NYGHTSTORM, the man not afraid to be transparent, as I help real people with real issues. And my co-host is my queen, my stunningly gorgeous wife. Woo!
Apparently he ain't seen the muscles on himself, but alrighty then. This is Toby George Nyghtstorm, the woman not afraid to tell the truth about how things really are. And this is Nyghtstorm Radio. Radio gone real because we are you.
Yeah, now Nyghtstorm Nation, if you're in the ATL, feel free to call in at 443-558-699. And to all the Nyghtstorm Nation members around the country, call in at 1-866-923-2860. Find out more about us, the Nyghtstorms, at Nyghtstorm.com. That's NYGHTSTORM.com. And you can also listen to our show from the Talk Radio page and also on Love860.com.
That's right. And all you smartphone owners out there, get them out.
Mm-hmm.
Download the apps, iHeartRadio or Tunein Radio or Tunein Now. Go to the Talk Radio section, look up Love 860 AM and find us, Toby and YG, right here on Love 860, Nyghtstorm Radio. Take us any and everywhere you are. You have no excuse.
No excuse. All right, so baby, what's on tap for the day?
Well, today's show is going to inspire you. It's going to motivate you.
Yeah.
It's going to teach you because that's what we do here.
I like how you say
Nyghtstorm
that.
Nation, you know how we do it.
I like how you say that. You sound so sexy.
Okay. Well, we're going to get down and dirty with relationships since we want to be flirtatious and all this good you got going on here. Okay. We want to talk about why they work and why they don't work.
Yes.
Taking responsibility for your mistakes and fixing them. Also, Nyghtstorm Nation.
Yeah.
Call in, ask questions, be a part of this conversation. And if you do, we have tickets sitting here for you and 3 friends to go to Uptown Comedy Club. Ain't that right?
Come on, baby.
Get it out.
You ain't had your coffee this morning.
You know, I'm trying. Uptown Comedy Corner.
Yeah,
there you go.
Call in and y'all can go to
flip the ticket
Uptown
over.
Comedy Corner for
Uptown
free. And that's
Comedy
here in
Corner.
Atlanta. All right, so
There's 4 people.
4 people per
Per
ticket.
ticket. That's right.
All right, so Nyghtstorm Nation. Now, always we like to start the show with a Nyghtstorm letter. And the Nyghtstorm letter is something that, you guys are the Nyghtstorm Nation. You send us stuff on what you want us to talk about and how you feel about certain things and your opinions. And you say, YG and Toby, you need to read my letter. Okay, so we got one. And if you want to send one to us, you go to the Nyghtstorms at Nyghtstorm.com. And we would definitely read your email. And if we feel it's appropriate for the show, we'll include it. So let's do this Nyghtstorm letter about relationships. This is deep.
Alrighty, here we go. Are you ready, Nyghtstorm Nation?
Say it right.
I'm not going to do a British accent.
That's me. But go
Exactly.
ahead. Say it, girl.
Dear Nyghtstorms, I have given up on some of my female friends that only date bad boys, thugs, and no good men. They constantly complain that their men are not treating them like a queen. The good guys they dated loved them too much. They were too nice. And they always were there for them and their children. They saw these dudes as weak and boring.
Okay.
Wow. I guess you're weak and boring. Huh?
If you helping this chick take care of her kids, you
Wow.
weak. Okay.
They even abused some of these men physically and say that they were punks because the guys didn't hit them back. I can't help them anymore. They are on their own and deserve whatever hectic life they get. Maybe you guys can address this because I'm done.
Well, I understand that because I got a lot of female friends on Facebook that follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and you got a lot of female friends. And as a guy, I be telling them some stuff, and they just don't want to listen sometimes either. They be like, YG, I can't find no man to treat me like a queen. Well, what kind of man are you attracted to? Well, I like bad boys. Well, the bad boy ain't gonna treat you like no queen. It is, I mean, it's all in what you want, okay? And if you want that certain risque relationship, then expect to have that certain risque relationship. And in the letter, some of these gents, were being abused by the girlfriends and being a punk because they wouldn't hit her back, or being called weak because he actually loved her too much, he treated her too nice, and he took care of her kids. But that's weak. I'm sorry, ladies. I love the women of Nightstorm Nation, but some of y'all twisted, man. I'm going to say it. And this is wrong. And I know the guys are twisted, and we are going to get into this today on how twisted men and how twisted women can be, how we treat each other, how we complain that you wrong or no, you wrong. We are going to figure out today, we're going to teach you today how to make this stuff right, so all y'all twisted people can line up real straight and have a nice relationship.
Who's going to line up and say I'm twisted?
Well, that's called self-responsibility.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't want to do it. But today, we're going to teach people how to do it.
Okay. Well, that comes back to the whole thing, and I hate to keep bringing this up, but the first thing that popped in my mind was Jay-Z and Solange and all of the fallout and flack he was getting because he did not hit her back.
Yes.
From both sides.
Yeah.
And you're weak because you didn't do it. You weak if he would have done it.
If he would have hit her back, he's not no
issues.
Man. Because he didn't hit her back, he's not no man. I mean, and a lot of this is coming from
her behavior was acceptable.
Yeah.
Or it wasn't acceptable, depends on how you look at it, through whom's eyes. So it just, when you're in relationships, it's a whole nother ballpark if you want to keep your relationship.
That's if you want to keep it.
That's exactly. And then what you're looking for is what you put out there. And your boundaries have to be acknowledged. And you have to stick to what you say is acceptable, is unacceptable, because it's like with children. You will be tested. I say, I don't like this. And you say, okay. But then you try it. If I get away with it, then what is the circumstance to my action?
Right.
So,
well, a lot of people, sweetheart, are looking for part-time lovers. And I consider part-time lovers like a part-time job. There ain't no benefits to that. Okay, you might want to get on this job and think, I might can sit here and do this, do that, but you treat it as a part-time job. But you actually want to go to your boss's office and say, I want full-time benefits for this part-time job that I want, even though I know it's not full-time. So you get with these dudes or these chicks who you know are risque, and you expect the full benefits from these people when you already know going in, this is part-time or seasonal. This ain't finna last. But, we're experts on this because we've been married 14 years, raised 7 children, gone through hell and back. But it's so good to have.
And we've been married twice. So, it hasn't been a smooth 14 years. We've been married. We've been divorced. We've been remarried. And we're still, well, let's just keep it 100.
Nightstorm Nation knows I screwed up real bad in the first
marriage.
No,
it was both of us.
And then I went begging you. I said, oh, baby, I can't live without you.
Okay, I'll take that one.
And I just need you, baby. Make me an honest man again, baby. And it's going to be good with us and these 7 children. And, I had to get my act together and stop treating you like part-time.
Let me stop that. Because in relationships, in order to make it work, there has to be reciprocity.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
there has to be an acknowledgement of the fact that somebody took responsibility, even if it's just your 5%. If you were 95% wrong and I was 5% wrong, I'm going to take full responsibility for my 5% of being wrong.
And you only wrong 5% at a time.
I'm not going to even say that either, but
anyway. We do have a guest online, and I want to introduce her. Well, in the British accent. And our producer Jared is looking down again, and I don't care. And Toby is looking away, ignoring me. But Jared, if you can cue that music, please, so we can introduce our guest properly. Ha 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 ha! Yeah! Now, Nightstorm Nation, we are playing 5-Star Chick because this young lady is a 5-star chick. Take it away, my queen.
All righty then.
Come on.
With the slogan, Don't blame a man if you don't have the love life of your dreams. Our guest today is the editor-in-chief of the magazine Women Who Run It.
Yeah.
Your life, your love, your terms, and a dating expert in her own right. She is unapologetic, opinionated, and sassy. And one of her life's missions is to give women the motivation, information, and inspiration to create spectacular lives for themselves.
She is the publisher of How to Put the Fun Back in Dating.com and is the author of the book Babe in Total Control of Herself, with an interesting acronym, where she breaks down how a woman is to be treated like a queen and how to appreciate a king that is willing to do it. So, ladies and gentlemen of Nyghtstorm Nation and listeners around the world, it is our honor, privilege, and pleasure to welcome to Nyghtstorm Radio, all the way from Ontario, Canada, Fiona Fine. Yeah!
Thank you, Nyghtstorm. What an intro.
Cool.
She likes it. She likes it.
Welcome, Fiona, to Nyghtstorm Radio, Nyghtstorm Nation. Say hi, Fiona.
What's up, Fiona? Okay.
I love that you treat Toby George like your queen.
Hey, she is my queen. I was stupid enough to let her go years ago, and I paid the price for it, and I was wise enough to say, baby, I'm so sorry. Play the Boys to Men music.
Man is a good
oh, baby, I made love to you.
Anyway, here we
like
go.
You want me to.
She's off on a tangent.
I know, right? There you go.
Okay, now, Fiona, we're going to get into this because we're going to get into your book a little bit later, and we're going to talk to the women a little bit later. But right now, we got to address some issues that the Nyghtstorm Nation men have sent in to us. And it's always one way when I explain stuff, but it's always a good thing when men are saying their needs and asking questions for the queen and yourself, ma'am, to respond to these, because they want to hear from women. They don't want to, they hear from me all the time, but they want to hear from women. So if I could get into this, it's called the biggest complaints that Nyghtstorm men have about women.
Nyghtstorm Nation.
Nyghtstorm Nation men have about women. So are you ready, Fiona?
Sure, bring it on.
Are you ready, my queen?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, number one, why do I always have to pay for everything? It's all good when I'm spending all of my money on her and her bills. But if I need help for anything, I'm not a man.
All right, Fiona, let you take that one first.
Well, you know what? I am going to go on record saying that I have queen rules, and I do like to be treated. If I'm going out, I have been specific in my desires to say that I would like to be treated when I'm going out because it makes me feel like a queen. It makes me feel special. So if we're going out for dinner, I love a man that's going to pick up a check. However, in no way, shape, or form would I ever think that it isn't an equal relationship of some sort, partnership, where if there is an equal ability to pay, that the bills are not covered proportional to what the earning power is. So if a guy is literally paying for both the perks and the specialness of his queen, and he is paying for all the bills, that is just flat out wrong, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I was sitting here thinking the same thing because, as I said before, there has to be a balance, because otherwise you're going to have resentment. Why do I have to pay for everything? It's cool here and there, but a guy loves the fact that you are out and you saw this shirt that, oh my God, he would look good in this.
Yeah.
Let me grab this for him. Or, this smells so good. I'm going to get this cologne. And just because it's Tuesday, not because it's his birthday or Christmas or anything like that, but just because I was out, I smelled this. I would love to smell it on you. Or I think you would look good in this shirt. And
Yeah,
put it on, baby.
Toby, here's the piece. Men love to be appreciated, really, and women love to be complimented. So both can go both ways in gifts, and it is not fair. And, we'll go to the right and wrong of it, but it's an unbalanced, unharmonized relationship if it is all one way. And that's where, as you say, the resentment builds, and it's not going to work long term.
Exactly.
Okay, and as the man, in this thing. I will say, ladies, you are quite on point, and I dare to be honest, because I know a lot of the Nyghtstorm Nation ladies, I say some stuff and I'm actually being honest and true, and we get letters that, why you had to say it like that? It's because I want to be honest. And, and a lot of people are afraid to be honest, with women sometimes because they're afraid of the backlash. But how are we going to learn? How are you ladies going to really understand and get the gist? Because some of your men are scared to tell you the truth because we don't want to lose you. Okay, we love you so much and you're so vital in our lives, but we're afraid to be honest because we know if we lose you, we got to go through about 30 bad chicks to try to find a good chick again. Okay, so I appreciate that. So let's move on because we got a few more. Now, number 2, why do I have to help her with all of her children if I love her? But she refuses to help me with my child because she says that I was irresponsible to have a kid out of wedlock.
Toby, you have way more kids than I'm going to pass this one for you to start.
Go ahead, my queen. Come on.
I think these red flags start coming up in the dating process and the initial getting to know and getting, speaking about what I have going on in my life, what you have going on in your life. And if this is a father who is very much involved in the lives of his children, is definitely going to have them right there with them. So when you're having these conversations and you're saying about, I have a child, out of wedlock, and she has her children, and you're having these conversations, these red flags should start popping up within the first couple of, conversations about this for you to even get to the point of saying, why I got to take care of all of her kids. There, somewhere along the way, you decided that you were going to let something pass or let something slip. That's when we start coming into these boundaries, when we start coming into these, okay, I'll go this far, but I'm not going to go that far. Like the old Hall & Oates song, I can do this, but I won't do that. So
I won't go for that.
Yeah, exactly.
I got you.
So it's like, you should have seen this coming. You should have put a stop to this in the beginning. Then you wouldn't be in this situation. However, if you have allowed it to go on, then apparently you've gotten to the point where you've gotten fed up and it's time for a conversation to be had with her more than with us, because we can't sit down and tell her, hey, you need to do more for him. He's doing for you. And
I will break it down like this. So, fellas, because I know y'all asking this question, and we got this question in different types of ways all over the place, Fiona. So I'm going to say this, just using our own example, sweetheart, is when I met you, you had 3 children. Okay, when you met me, I had 3 children. We both came out of marriages, okay, and then we had a child together. But the fact of the matter is we were both upfront about our children, and we both took on the responsibility for all of the children. And we decided that we are going to have a family. This thing works both ways. If I'm going all in as second dad, Toby went all in as second mom, okay? And these are the things, fellas, that you have to do. Okay, you have to have that conversation that the queen was saying with your young lady. And if this young lady is saying it's all good for you to just take care of mine, but she don't want to help take care of yours, then there's going to be some problems there. You're going to have the resentment, and you need to ask her, why in the world is it okay for me to sacrifice for your babies, which I love? I truly love them. But how come you don't want to step up to help me with mine? So that's a conversation that needs to be asked. But we are finna go on a quick little break, and we are going to come back with Fiona Fines all the way from Ontario, Canada, y'all. And she going to break down some real stuff, and we got a few more questions about brothers who got some questions for her. So you are listening to Nyghtstorm Radio right here on Love 860 AM WAEC, Atlanta's inspirational talk radio station. Yeah.
You ever been so depressed to where you want to hurt yourself because life has been unkind, unfair, and unforgivable? Folks done hurt you and thrown you away? Yeah, I know, because I was there too, until I read this book by NYGHTSTORM called All Action No Talk. This dude has been there, man. He understands us. He was homeless, abused as a child, abandoned by his dad, and even his oldest son passed away. I'm encouraged because if this dude can make it, so can I, and so can you. So check it out at Nyghtstorm.com, NYGHTSTORM, and know that you have the strength to change your life despite adversity, like him, like me, like you.
Hey, you, guy or gal that's listening, are you enjoying the night storms? Good! If you want the 411 on me, YG Nightstorm,
And me, Toby George Nightstorm, aka Lady Nightstorm, visit Nyghtstorm.com. That's NYGHTSTORM.com. Check out our informative blogs, videos, and see what Nightstorm Nation is doing to benefit the community. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook.
thanks again for listening to the Night Storms on Nyghtstorm Radio every Thursday at 11 a.m. to noon on Love 860 a.m. Atlanta's inspirational station. We are you.
Hi everyone, it's me, Lady Nightstorm, and have I got news for you. Want to know how to keep up with us and what we're doing in the community? It's easy. Just like us on Facebook at Nyghtstorm Radio. Follow us on Twitter at Nyghtstorm Radio and become part of the Nyghtstorm Nation mailing list at Nyghtstorm.com. That's NYGHTSTORM. Keep up with all our promotions, contests, and latest happenings. Nyghtstorm Radio. We are you.
You are now rocking with the Night Storms on Atlanta's inspirational station, Love 860 AM WAEC. Now back to the show.
We are back and we are speaking with Fiona. If you would like to call in and be a part of the conversation and also win these tickets for 4 to Uptown Comedy Corner, 404-355-8699 or 1-866-923-2860.
Yeah, all right. Now, we got Fiona Fines on the line, and we got one more question that the fellas got, and this really ties into your book. And are you still there, ma'am?
I am.
Okay, now this right here, and I really like this question because it's a complex question, but after Toby and I researched you, this goes directly down your corner. Okay, so a lot of guys were talking about that they have to have a 6-figure income, have to own a house that's 6 figures, got to have 6-pack abs, got to look like all the Hollywood TV people. But the thing that they hate the most is this thing right here. So women have, and please, Nightstorm Nation ladies, do not be offended by this, but I got to read this thing that they sent in. Women have absolutely no accountability in life or in a relationship. When they are wrong, they cry when they get caught, provide excuses for their bad behavior, blame us for their mistakes, and will not apologize. They seem to know everything about what a real man is, but are clueless about being a real woman. When are wiser women going to school other women about how to be a queen and appreciate the good men in their lives trying to be their king?
You know, it goes, if this is just towards me, this goes back to if you do not have the love life of your dreams, don't blame a man. Guys are stepping up. And as women, we're pointing our fingers at you guys, not really paying attention that there are 3 fingers pointing at ourselves. We aren't doing the work. So, yeah, I was reading something this morning where somebody was saying there was high drama. It was a UK-based news article. And women have to start holding other women accountable and start giving us the tools to step in, to communicate accurately, to be open and honest and not whiny and not being able to just point fingers at guys saying it's all about you, because it's not. We know it's about us as well if in a quiet moment we're going to admit it.
Wow. Oh,
That's
my God.
the thing.
Oh, my God. Hold on. Nightstorm Nation men, you have just heard from Fiona Fines and you asked when are wiser women going to school other women about how to be a queen and treat good men as kings and stop whining and taking responsibility. Well, brothers, you just heard what you needed. I'm feeling good. So, wow, that's incredible because the queen does this all the time, Fiona. But it's so good to hear somebody else. And this is why I really want to get into your book, Babe in Total Control of Herself. Okay, so why did you write this book, ma'am? And what was your inspiration? Because you, ma'am, are a true gem.
I'm not sure that everybody would agree with you. When I date, men go, "Oh, aren't you sweet?" Until I kind of open my mouth, and then out comes like a George Clooney or something. Yet I have lived 30-plus years in a man's world. I'm an engineer, then I moved into IT, and then finally into corporate recruiting. So I played with the big boys, and thankfully I've made money with the big boys. Over the course of that 30 years, though, really my femininity, my ability to be soft and forgiving and learn how to surrender both in and out of a bedroom, it was pretty non-existent. Mm-hmm. So it really is my own life that has inspired the Babe in Total Control of Herself book, which, as you say, has an interesting acronym. It gets attention.
I'll say it's B.I.T.C.H.
Well said, YJ. That's one way of putting it. It really, part of it is, and the play on words is that working in as an assertive, as a strong and successful woman for that number of years, you can imagine how many times I heard the little B word. Okay, I mean, you just didn't grow up and work beside men and almost become one of them in one's mannerisms and outlook and communications, which is both a good and a bad. It means that, as I've moved more and more, and it's a long story as to how I got into the dating field, but as I moved more and more into it, I was able to really understand what was going on in a man's mind and how a man thinks and be able to translate it to women, and obviously to see what I would struggle with and what my other female sisters would struggle with around the world. It's an interesting dichotomy to straddle both worlds. But the book came about because I literally had to reframe that little B word into something that worked for me and that went from being disempowering and sort of slapping me in the face when I heard it to being empowering to say, I am going to own my power, I am going to step in, I am going to encourage other women to do it. So that's the short version of, 25 years of dealing with it.
Wow. And I can totally relate to this because I was when YG and I, when we first got together, I think the hardest thing was validating my man, because it's like, what? Don't you know you're good? Don't you know and what? You did this, so that's what you were supposed to do. And it was like,
it's like that's a given.
I know.
Those were very dark times back then, Fiona.
So that's why I said I take full responsibility. First of all, I had to acknowledge what I was doing wrong, because you don't know you're wrong when you're wrong. You don't know what you don't know. And being the only child, raised by my mom, raised by my grandmother, there were my father wasn't in my life for me to see, how a relationship interaction was between a female and a man, and that give and take and stuff like that. So with having two very strong women raising me, I never saw this. So when he came to, I needed to be appreciated. I did this and I did that. It's like, So I really had to learn.
Why do I have to pat you on the head for doing what you're supposed to do?
Yeah, I really had to learn the validation. I really had to learn the empathy and things like that. And that was part of the thing that caused our first divorce, because I did not sit back and take responsibility for what I was doing wrong. And I would go out and I would tell people everything that he did wrong, but not tell what my part was in it. And how can women self-sabotage their lives with this type of, behavior or personality?
Well, I always go on record and again, I get a lot of disbelieving looks from some women that men really, truly, truly want to make us happy. They're really, their DNA is that they want to satisfy us and cherish us and adore us as women, as their queen. Yet we keep getting in our way and making it hard. Part of it is because we're not taking the ownership, and we don't. And I'm going to start to branch off into, what could be a long discussion, but we really don't know what fulfills us, what gives us pleasure, be it a quiet moment of self-reflection and I don't mean going out looking for the next pair of shoes. Yet, what gives us a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction and pleasure in our own lives so that we can then be the queen, set our own boundaries, and yet really give what I call AAA support to our men, which is acknowledge, approve, and appreciate. Guys, really, that's what you're asking for, isn't it, YJ?
Yeah. And I want to say this because just as the man who I love my queen, and I think you can tell, and Nyghtstorm Nation knows how much I love Toby. And during those days, we do want to please our woman. It gives us pride, in our egos, that we can proudly say and push our chest out and say, yes, I am taking care of my woman. My woman's needs are fulfilled. My woman's wants are there. Everything that she needs, I can do it for her. And we take great pride in that. And we want to, but what trips up a lot of relationships, and Fiona, I know that you have talked to people about this, and Toby has talked to a number of people as well, is that when a lot of women, especially female friends I have, they say, I pray all the time for a good man, or I really, really want a good man. And when they get the man that they say that they want, the guy that's being affectionate, the guy that's being nice, the guy that's opening the doors, the guy that's treating them with the utmost respect and putting them on that pedestal and saying, look, I want the world to see you as I see you, as a majestic queen that you are. Unfortunately, women start sabotaging themselves by not showing appreciation to the man that's appreciating them. Okay, and that's when the problems start coming, and that's when you start getting the cleanup lady, the chick on the side who's saying, well, your wife don't want to show you this, you're doing all this, I see how hard you're working, I would be more than happy to make you feel better. And now here we go with an additional problem.
Yeah, but I think a lot of that too, Fiona, and correct me if I'm wrong, is they are being influenced by people around them. I know, recently, my husband did something very nice to me and bought me a very nice gift for my car. And I was so, proud and out showing it. And I was like, oh, look what I got. And one of the first things, I got, look at him, there he go. But one of the things I did get was, what did he do? Ain't no man gonna spend that kind of, without he either wants something or he did something.
Like I can't do something because I love my wife.
Exactly. And it's like, if I didn't know my husband the way that I do know him rather, and I listen to things like that, it would make you have a second thought, like, well, maybe he did do something. Let me think. Now you become suspicious of him instead of just taking it as the fact that he loves you and he wants you happy. But now you've got that hater, as they say, or somebody who is jealous. But, ain't nobody going to be doing this for you for nothing. He must, why does that even have to come into play? But that was the first thing. That was the first response instead of, how nice.
So, but going back to what you said, YG, about, women having to step up for other women, that's when I would hopefully with, the confidence and the self-esteem that or a woman who is owning her own power would turn to her friend and I gently say, that's your dynamic. That's not mine. And see if to change it around. I believe that if each person in a relationship takes 100% accountability for the relationship and not go looking for somebody else to sort of, share the load. If each one of us takes 100% accountability each day, that is what creates magic. And I think we have to do it with our girlfriends, too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have to be willing to call them off on things, to say, look, I don't think that way, and I'm not, maybe that's your dynamic, and that's what's happened to you, but I feel confident in my relationship, so can we not bring that up the next time he does something really nice for me?
Exactly. Now, Fiona,
take that.
What is one of the key pieces for women who are really looking to step into becoming a babe in control of herself?
For me, really, it seems to be what is so big and so prevalent in today's world is permission. I really don't believe that women and society are giving women permission to think for themselves, you know, and giving us the ability to be able to choose and to self-reflect, and that's what builds the confidence. When I think back on my own life and a lot of the women that I know, it's being able to take the time and not react, but to choose what works for us as individuals so that we can live our best lives. So to become a babe in total control of herself, really working on that permission thing, and I know it's easier said than done, yet it's one of the basic core foundations to all of the self-esteem and all of the confidence that is the beginning of becoming a babe in total control.
Now, I want to chime in on this one because, you know, we have raised 3 daughters, okay? And when you talk about babe in total control of herself and the self-esteem issue, you know, we've gone through 3 times of, you know, well, at least 2 adult daughters now gone through the high school phases where the insecurity stuff really starts setting in. And other girls making them feel like they're not worthy, or stupid boys who say, oh, you got a freckle or you have a pimple, you're ugly. And it starts right there with this self-doubt, this horrible self-image, you know, becoming from your school years, and you grow up with this stuff. And there's so many women out there who are suffering with this. And this is why some of the relationships are suffering, because, as you say, they're looking for permission. They're looking for someone to say it's okay to be you. But unfortunately, in the real world, sometimes you're not going to find somebody to pat you on the back. You're not going to find somebody to lift you up. You have to look in the mirror yourself and say, it's okay for me to be a babe in total control of herself. For one, Fiona Fine says so. And for 2, I say so. Ain't that right, Fiona?
It is. It does start in looking in the mirror, and you guys are doing a phenomenal job by encouraging that in both, you know, boys and girls, your sons and daughters, because it does start early. I mean, that's when it can go off the rails, and that's when younger adults can probably, you know, get into the bad boy. It's like, okay, I want this, I want to be a queen, but I don't want to act like a queen. So it's a muscle. It has to be used every day. It sounds like it's hard work, but once you get into the rhythm of it, it's smooth. I mean, it's a well-developed muscle.
Exactly. That's one of the things that you have to, even knowing yourself, is what is a queen? What is a queen to me? And we're going to get into that more, Fiona, when we come back from our break, because we're about to go into our break right now on Love 860 AM. Nightstorm Nation, I really hope that you are enjoying this conversation. Remember our number, 404-355-8699. We have Fiona here, myself, and YG. We also have these tickets for Florida, Uptown Comedy Corner. Call in. See you after the break.
Event planners, are you worried that your next corporate get-together is going to be boring?
Then invite the Nyghtstorms to speak at your next event and electrify your organization as we break down how to grow your business, fix broken relationships, and conquer life challenges.
So make your next event epic. Invite me and the Queen to rock the house with inspirational techniques designed to empower individuals and maximize realize their true potential.
And thanks for listening to Nyghtstorm Radio on Love 860 AM WAEC, Atlanta's inspirational station.
We are you.
This is Toby George Nyghtstorm, a.k.a. Lady Nyghtstorm, and I'm known as the woman not afraid to tell the truth about how things really are. And the truth I have to say to you is you should listen to Nyghtstorm Radio every Thursday from 11 to noon. And you should also like us on Facebook at Nyghtstorm Radio. Follow us on Twitter at Nyghtstorm Radio. And join the Nyghtstorm Nation mailing list on Nyghtstorm.com. That's NYGHTSTORM.com. Nyghtstorm Radio on Love 860 AM WAEC, Atlanta's inspirational talk radio station. We are you.
This is YG Nyghtstorm. And why should you listen to Nyghtstorm Radio? Because we relate to you or someone you know with topics taken directly from our lives. Every time you tune in, you'll hear a discussion about real subjects that affect real life. Why? Because me and the Queen have been there. So join us right here every Thursday morning from 11 to noon on Love 860 AM WAEC, Atlanta's inspirational talk radio station. Nyghtstorm Radio. We are you.
Hello, Nyghtstorm Nation. This is Toby George Nyghtstorm, a.k.a. Lady Nyghtstorm, and I have a question for you. How much are you spending each day on lunch? $6, $7, $10 even? Do you know that for less than what you spend each week on lunch, you can advertise your business or service right here during the show on Nyghtstorm Radio? Why don't you inbox us on Facebook, send us a message on Twitter, or drop us a line at Nyghtstorm.com. Let us show you how you can get your business or service out in front of the people. Now back to the show.
We are back, and we are talking to the incredible Fiona Fine, the author of Babe in Total Control of Herself. This is an eye-opening book. It's empowering and everything that you need to really kickstart not only a fantastic relationship that you deserve, but also the life that you have been dreaming and praying about. So, Fiona, you still there?
I'm here.
Okay, I got another question for you. Now, we done already addressed the fellas, and I've been getting tweets and about, thank you, Fiona. They're saying thank you for finally saying something, because they so used to Toby saying it and me saying it. But when another person, especially from Canada, from up top, talking, they really appreciate it. So now we're going to ask you this. What are the top 3 things that help a woman become a babe in total control of herself, ma'am?
You know what? My top one is always going to be women have to discover their get over it gene.
Uh-oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Stop the presses. I need you to say that one more time, Fiona. They need to do what, ma'am?
They have to learn to get over it. We've nicknamed it the get over it gene, and it came from a
I think, okay, we're going to get Fiona back. It's like drama is hitting.
Wait. Yeah, the drama was high, and I realized we need to learn to tap into our get over it gene. And what I mean by this is we need to forgive the small stuff easily and often. We need to forgive the men who have come before and start clean with a new man, if that's what's going on in the dating side of things. It's being able to openly communicate, to say, that hurt me, I feel this way, and I would love your behavior to change. But we cannot, as women, and I don't know how the DNA bred this in us, we hold on to things, and we want to point fingers like months and years later. We need to find our get over it gene. We're going to feel so much better if we can just. We may not forget, but we got to forgive way faster.
Yeah, that's definitely true, because I know personally, okay, I'm not big enough to do anything physically, but man, anything you say to me, I could squirrel it away. And what's that little file cabinet that we have as
Oh,
women?
Lord.
That,
Oh,
okay, yeah, he said this. I ain't got to,
We know what we
come
wore to
back.
somebody's wedding 20 years ago.
You
so
know,
we don't
right?
Forget.
We know, and then we'll bring that up 10 years later. I'll wait on an opportune time. Yeah. You say what you got to say. I got you. As soon as the opportunity presents itself, we stand tall and strong on that one.
Yeah, we get on our high horses and we just wail at you guys and at ourselves.
Well,
we have to get over it for ourselves as well. That's coming back to permission to get over it.
Well, I got to say this, and this does not happen in our household, okay, anymore.
I was going to say what?
But I'm tiptoeing around this, Fiona, because the queen is looking at me like, yeah, you better say it right. But I'm going to say this right, okay? And I will say, fellas who are listening also, we need a good dose of that get over it gene too, because we as men, we are not really equipped to handle emotional issues as females are. You guys have the support system. You hug each other. You cry together. If we get our heart broken, it's like, dude, you better man up and just go get another chick. Okay, but we can harbor stuff too. And I am guilty of harboring some old hurts, some old pains that can come back and sabotage the marriage, the relationship, and the relationships that we have with not only your children, but to loved ones. And that get over gene is not gender specific. It is something that we all must do. And the queen is looking at me with amazing approval. Am I doing it correctly, ma'am?
I'm sitting here just amazed, period, that you are saying, hey, I did this.
I take full responsibility.
Yeah, there you go. The man's not afraid to be transparent.
As a help real people with real issues. Go ahead, baby.
Wow. So, Fiona, what are you working on next for you and women you advocate for?
Yes.
You know what? This, as you can imagine, this all sounds great in theory. But one of the things that when we're working with women and men around the world is how does one put all this in practice? How do we undo maybe the upbringing and the hurts and the history, the baggage that we carry around? So we're working on what I'm going to call a program, and it's a year to becoming a babe in total control of herself, which is a really practical curriculum, working with thought leaders and experts in their field and being able to tie it into more than just the dating and the relationships, but, in the health, in the career, in the relationship, in the family, in the 5 different pieces that really create a total babe in total control of herself. So that's what's on the docket for the next 6 months to 8 months, to get that out so that we're stepping into our own lives, our own love, and on our own terms. Yes,
ma'am. Okay, now all this stuff sounds amazingly good. Amazing, because I'm just impressed by you.
And I love the fact that you got a whole protocol that, you can't just wake up, like Beyonce say, I woke up like this.
Woke up perfect.
I'm not bossy, I'm the boss. No.
Yes.
Okay, so Fiona, all this good stuff, all these great nuggets, and we getting tweets saying, YG, where can we find out more about her? How can we get into contact with her? Because I'm telling you, a lot of men are very interested in your program saying, here, let me read one. Please tell Fiona that I would like to introduce her to my wife.
Okay. I hear that a lot from men. Could I get a book for my wife? I don't want to set that up. I don't want to be blaming women. There's nothing to blame. We just can step into our own power better. That's all.
So you got a website that they can find you at, ma'am?
We actually have set it up so that if you go to www.babeintotalcontrolofherself.com, you can get a free digital copy of the book. It's up there. They will get access to also the How to Put the Fun Back into Dating community and digital magazine. So that is one of the simplest ways to actually get access to the book, the fastest way. If they're looking for me, they can always find me on my Twitter, which is at Fiona_Fine. So there's lots of different ways to get a hold of me. I'm also on Google Plus and LinkedIn, always using that name, Fiona Fine. So it just depends on what they're looking for.
Okay, and I'm so happy that you said you're not blaming women, and we're not blaming women, we're not blaming you sisters, and we're not blaming men either, because a lot of time it's so much man bashing, it's so much woman bashing, but this show with Fiona Fines was designed to air out the grievances, and we gave the fellas an opportunity to say the things that are rarely heard. No one wants to hear any grievances from the guys because, you know, from my own past experience, we feel that us in a relationship, we're irrelevant. Our needs don't matter. Our wants don't matter. Our desires don't matter. But for us to really effectively serve our queen has to also effectively treat us like a king. And in order to do all of this, it requires one simple word. And that word is love. And we have hit the love shout-out section of our show. And this segment is designed for the Nyghtstorm members to shout out their particular loves to their sweetie pies. Am I right, baby?
That is absolutely correct.
Mm-hmm.
And also, just like with your emails, you can send us your love shout-outs to the Nyghtstorms at Nyghtstorm.com, and we will read your shout-out to your special someone. And we have Tank, and Tank is sending love to his new fiancee, Bridget. He says that he was brave enough to ask her to marry him, and she was crazy enough to say yes.
That's good stuff, Tank. And Marisol sends her love to her husband, Ricardo. He is in Brazil helping a village get clean drinking water, sweetheart. And she says that he is all that she needs.
All righty. And I want to take this opportunity to shout out my husband and say, baby, 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 baby.
Yes.
Baby, I love you.
Okay. Thank you. And we got Fiona. She's a witness. Jared is a witness. And the rest of Nyghtstorm Nation is a witness. I want to say that I love you, my queen. I honor you. I cherish you. I know when to say I'm sorry. And I know when to say, okay, baby, you can have it. Because I love you, baby. So, Fiona, is there anyone special that you would like to send a special love shout out to, ma'am?
Oh, I would love to send a special shout out to my honey, who is about 25 feet away from me.
Hi,
he may or may not hear that.
Hey, honey, how you doing?
I'm guessing I'll get a kiss for that one.
I'm sure you better. And kiss him back. It's got to be even.
I will. I know.
All right. Fiona Fines, thank you so much for being on Nyghtstorm Radio. Nyghtstorm Nation, thank you so much for listening to Nyghtstorm Radio, for sending us your letters and supporting the show. And we're also going to have these tickets to Uptown Comedy Corner available at Twitter and Facebook. You know how to hit us up at Nyghtstorm Radio on Twitter, at Nyghtstorm Radio on Facebook, Nyghtstorm.com, NYGHTSTORM. And until next time, have a great week and stay safe. Join us next Thursday at 11 a.m. on your radio, computer, or smartphone right here on Love 860 AM, Atlanta's inspirational talk radio station.
And one last time, get Fiona's book, Babe in Total Control of Herself. Go get it and help fix not only your relationship, but your life. She is fantastic, incredible, and we thank her so much. Have a great week, Fiona and her honey, and have a great week, Nyghtstorm Nation. God bless you guys.
That's right.
Because
we are you.